This is the first in a series of video tutorials that deals with the keyboard harmony component of the classical piano syllabus. Keyboard harmony begins at grade 4, and for grades 4 and 5 we use this new workbook by Deborah Wanless called Keyboard Harmony Harmonizing Made Fun. This includes all the requirements and exercises for progressions and harmonizing for grades 4 and 5. In keyboard harmony there are two skills to be learned, the progression and the harmonization. The progression is always provided to give the students more of a template to work from, not only to be able to read the chords off the page, but also to train their ear to be able to hear the 1 and 5. In the chord progression for grade 4, it's just simply C and G7 outlines, and you'll see this on page 16 of the Wanless workbook from book 1. Here's what it would sound and look like at the keyboard, and I'm using a pedal as well to join the sounds and add some resonance. This is a look at the grade 4 harmonizing requirement. We're using only C major and only chords of 1 and 5, which would give us C and G7 chords in the left hand. The right hand is to be played exactly as written on the page, and the left hand provides chords at the chord symbols. In the Wanless workbook, you'll notice that there are X's and there are chord symbols. On the exam, students will only see chord symbols, so it's very clear which chord to use. In the past, we had used X's to denote where the chord changes are. Students are encouraged to write in the chord symbols at the X's in the workbook so that they understand the work that goes into finding which chords are appropriate to use in any given situation. For the left hand, the chords look like this, C, and rather than hopping from root to find G7, that's not a very good keyboard style, so we encourage students, we want to see this type of voice leading with a C chord in root position and G7 like this. The whole example with both hands looks like this, and I'm using pedal to add resonance. Students are encouraged to use the pedal for all exercises in keyboard harmony for both the progressions and the harmonizing at all levels. The grade 5 requirements are somewhat similar to grade 4, but we add a couple of extra keys so that students are now supposed to play the chord progression and harmonize in the keys of C, F, and G. In the Wanless workbook, you'll see examples of everything there. The chord progression is on page 25 for G major, and the other harmonization examples in G and F are also there. You can use the same examples that you used for grade 4 from the C major part of the book. When it comes to the harmonizing, I'll use the G major example that we see in the syllabus. And this one, again, we're just using 1 and 5 chords, and in this case for G major it's the G chord, which we play in root position, followed by D7, again with smooth voice leading back to G. Again, in the workbook there are sections where there are chord symbols included, that's all you'll see on the exam, but wherever you see the old X's, you can feel free to write in the chord symbols on the X's. It's good for students to do that background work, to understand where the chords are coming from. Here's what the G major harmonization would look like. Again, I'm using pedal to add resonance in all the examples, and this is the example that is shown in the syllabus. In addition to the exercises found in the Wanless workbooks, book 1, 2, 3, and 4, you can also use this book here that we've got 153 fun tunes to harmonize for easy fake piano, also available by Deborah Wanless. It contains a number of great examples in many different keys at different levels for students. In grades 4 and 5, again, we're dealing with what we kind of call lead sheet reading style. And in the next video tutorial, when we start at grade 6, we convert to playing the chords in keyboard style with 3-note triads in the right hand and single notes in the left hand.